Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls 2 Kita the Conqueror DLC Edition! This is gonna be the final countdown, final moment of the DLC. We're going to head into the Ivory King DLC and destroy us. Destroy us, I say. Destroy us! Some Ivory King, speaking of which. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so the first thing I gotta do before I can head over to the Ivory King, or I guess technically I could fight him right now. Honestly, it would be okay. I think I have 3 Ivory soldiers ready to go. There's max of 4 that you can get. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the max of 4 just for the sake of doing everything, but I think you can do it with 3 just fine. It's a little tough with any less than that. I mean, obviously you could summon in someone. It's funny, when I was farming for Lois Souls, which take forever, and I'm actually not going to do in this game, I'm sorry, it's just, it literally took me over 2 full days straight of farming to get that for my lore video, and I'm just like, I don't think I have time to farm for 2 full straight days again, at the moment at least. But anyways, literally every single time I was summoned into someone's game, and hey, that's supposed to actually hit, you. Anyways, anytime I was summoned into someone's game, and they would just literally, like a lot of times, half the time, there's only one Lois Knight, and I'd just be like, we're not, this is already done, we're not winning. We're not gonna beat the Ivory King. I mean, it's fine by me. I mean, I'm just going for, you know, I'm just here for my Lois Souls, but there's no way just you and I are gonna be able to beat the Ivory King when there's this horde of Lois Knights constantly respawning during the fight of the Ivory King, and you just made him harder because you summoned somebody. Yeah, so because, you know, summoning people makes the boss harder, so when they summon 2 people and they don't have all the Lois Knights, you have constant respawning Lois Knights with the harder Ivory King, makes it pretty difficult. Alright, Retainer Short Sword is what we just got. That's what I was going for. It kind of looks like an ice pick to me. Short sword wielded by retainers in the garrison ward. Long ago, the retainers attended to the priestesses, but with their disappearances, the retainers were left to wander frigid Allium Lois without purpose. I believe I talked about this the last Let's Play. I know I didn't get that weapon, but I think their armor says the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. So just again, confirming that those are the retainers of the priestesses, and if there was any new info, I think it was just basically the fact that they've been wandering Allium Lois frigid and cold ever since the coldness has come in. Also, I have a new method for looking at and checking my audio that I am going to be employing and am currently employing to make sure that I don't have what happened to me last time happen again. So usually I have it so the game capture is my main thing that I see on my screen to make sure my game capture doesn't poop out. But it usually doesn't, so I've got it so I can still sort of see it in the corner, but the main thing I'm checking is GarageBand in my audio. So that is my #1 priority now, so that's my full screen, so I can immediately see if there's some sort of issue. So I mean, hopefully there won't be, but just in case. Lately my game capture device has been kind of funky while I've been trying to stream, so you never know. So other thing I should mention is that there is a rumor going around. Now this isn't a confirmed thing, but it's a rumor that there's a 4th Dark Souls 2 DLC. Now, the images, I believe, are confirmed, and essentially what the images are and why that is something that people are thinking might be happening, and highly plausible, is because there was some sort of download patch, I believe with Steam, for Dark Souls 2. As I'm a 360 player, I'm not sure exactly what it was on, but whatever you download for PC, there was a download, some sort of patch that you downloaded called Dark Souls 2 DLC _4, or something to that extent. That was very clearly indicative that there, you know, was a 4th one, so that is where it all stems from. Now, it could just be a 4th patch, and some, like, as of the DLC coming out. I mean, it could be something like that, but it seems likely that it could be a 4th DLC. So that is where that is from, if anyone was wondering. That's why people have been talking about that. I don't know if I got the Ice Rapier yet. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I think the Ice Rapier is pretty cool. It's funny, like, when I was talking about how cold stuff I never liked it too much as a kid. Oh, I forgot to pick this up last time. The repair powder. Good thing I came back. And it's 3 of them, which I'll actually probably want. So anyways, the thing I was going to say is funny as a kid, well, like snow and stuff in video games kind of makes me feel cold. I actually love ice-themed things when it comes to weapons. Sub-Zero is always my favorite Mortal Kombat character and still is. So, yeah, like, ice-themed, I was all about that. You know what? We actually don't need to deal with any of this crap now that I think about it. I'm just gonna run through. Screw it. Screw it all. I don't even care. Don't even care. Oh. Yeah, this is on my level. Get on my level! Alright, bye guys. Later. It'd be funny if I accidentally stepped off when I saw that. I love every PvP video when I see someone go for the leap to try and smash down someone on an elevator, even if it's suicide. I'm all for that. Alright, so I've been talking about him for a while, and here he finally is. I'm calling them a he just because Silver the Hedgehog. It's basically Bone Wheel times 2. Now, obviously, I don't know if it's really a he. Don't think I'm being sexist, because I'm not. I don't know. But it reminds me of Silver the Hedgehog, and I think a bunch of people are making that comparison, so, you know, it's no use with these little bunkers. Seriously, these guys are awful. I mean, if you accidentally hit them where their spikes are, you'll get hurt for a bit, and they act just like Bone Wheels against you. They're just monsters. They're worse than the Bone Wheels in Dark Souls 2, because the Dark Souls 2 Bone Wheels aren't that difficult. Dark Souls 1, that is a different story entirely. Alright, almost forgot about you. So we should be getting a invader. Whoops, shit. Actually, I guess it didn't continuously roll on me there, which the Bone Wheels do, but still, they're basically Bone Wheels. I actually find them, maybe it's just this weapon, but I don't particularly enjoy trying to hit them. So there's our invader up there. He does drop down eventually, but one thing I found that's good with him, because it kind of takes him a while to decide to do that, what you can do, and let me make sure he's not going to drop down while I'm doing this, is equip a bow. Equip some good arrows. I don't have any arrows left, but let's do some. Let's do poison arrows, just because I could probably get him poisoned here. And oh shit. Yep. Anyways, don't let that happen. But you should be able to get him. Man, I got hit again. Last time. Wasn't being... Ha! Okay. Just hit you off like that. I'm fine with that. Alright, anyways. When I was playing on my own, it worked out pretty well. This time, clearly, it did not. Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for the magic that this guy's gonna use. Ha! I'm just gonna smack you in the face. Well... It was much harder in New Game Plus. That was actually a pretty easy battle. I was actually a little worried about it, but I had no need to be worried. There's another invader that we're going to find soon. My recommendation is kill that invader before opening up any passageways or doors. I highly, highly recommend that, and you will see why soon enough. Let's kill some more silver hedgehogs. No! See, that's why! That stupid jump to the side. Ugh. Hate them. Hate them. Oh, God. It's no use. It's no use. It's no use! Oh no! Okay. Seriously, those hedgehogs stress me out more than anything else. Well, okay, that is not true. Being in the frigid outskirts stresses me out more than anything else. But in fair game land of fair game mechanics, I said it. The Silver the Hedgehogs stress me out. Shit. I was worried he was gonna be there. Silver! No! You get away! Yeah, I was actually really disappointed last time when I lost my audio, because I thought my in-game audio was pretty fun, especially when I was in the frigid outskirts. That got lost. I was like... It was actually one of those moments where I congratulated myself mentally. I was like, I did a good job on that audio. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm not on, but last time's audio, I was like, yeah, I was really on. And when I found out I lost it all, well, most of it, I was just like, oh no! It was a very, very sad moment in my life. It was pretty up there. I mean, you know, it's not the saddest moment, but definitely up there. Okay, so where is the one who's still alive? Oh, he's up there. Okay, that's cool. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I don't need to waste arrows. Keep on forgetting I have that iron fist equipped. Those fisticuffs. Alright, so here's going to be the best invader in all the DLC. I love this guy. So, it's a white phantom. And he's doing the high. It's so great. And now he's going to pretend to be with us until we attack him, which I just love it. But not only that. So you start to hurt him and he runs away from you and he tries to go somewhere else. Oh, shit. Okay, so what he... Oh, okay. Let's get rid of this guy first, and then we'll go take care of our white phantom. Now, the thing is, he will go over and try to go through this door if it's open, so that's why I wanted to leave it closed. I'm not sure exactly where he went, though. So he's actually... Oh, there he is. Alright, so he can actually be pretty annoying in a way, because he just keeps on running away, and will heal and do all that. So notice how he has all of his health back because he healed up. So he is a total scrub invader, which is great. But also tried to throw you off. I think it's hilarious, so. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's like, that's what you get for calling me a scrub. Oh no! I didn't even get the bonfire. No! Got more silver, the hedgehogs. I'll see you guys in a moment. No, no. Oh! Oh, no, no, no. No, no! Fuck! Alright. Okay. I am back. And that did not go so well for me. Doing this multiple times, so I do not want to die again. Oh hey, guess what? I'm gonna totally fall for it again. Yep. Now, which way are you gonna run? Okay, you're gonna run this way. So that's cool with me. We'll just take care of this guy while we're up here. Okay, so like I was saying, thing is, it's better not to pull that lever, because again with this guy, he'll run away through where you pulled the lever at, so it's definitely better not to go in that direction. Alright, let's just take care of him. Even though I know there's going to be a caster, because he's going to go try to heal up. We might actually be able to deal with it. Alright, got backstab. Done with it. And dropped the human effigy. Cool. Alright, now I'm good with this area. That was not good on my part. All my runbacks, really. Alright, so now I'll go take care of the caster if I can find where the caster decided to go. Caster, the friendly ghost. Alright, don't know where you're at, caster. That's cool. I don't think this is a mimic, but that would really eat me up if it turned out it was. Get it? Oh, okay, not good. Alright, so now I'm not gonna mind opening up that passage, and that's the way that we need to go. There's also a bonfire over here, which I'll go ahead and grab after I open this up. Oh, okay, so yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go back home. Start climbing back up. So what I've been working on this week is trying to, well, I've been making progress on my super show. So I've made some good progress. I'm on what I call phase 2 of it. But the other thing is, I've been working on Kingsfield lore stuff, and I'm just about done writing my Kingsfield Japan lore video at this point. Like, I'm really close. It's not going exactly as well as I was hoping for Kingsfield Japan, because the thing about that lore is that not that many people have played that game, and unfortunately, in order to talk about Kingsfield Japan, especially that one, I really have to go in a lot into the backstory, which is, there's a couple problems. One being that there's no actual footage in-game of the backstory. It's just stuff that you find out from, like, compendiums that came out in, like, a strategy guide. So, for some of the backstory, and some of it's just things that people say that give you some backstory of it. But there's a bunch of it I gotta get into just to talk about the creation of the Kingsfield world and things like that, to help make it so people can understand exactly what's going on in the game. and it's definitely more than I was. I don't know, there's a lot, it's just a lot of characters and a lot of things to talk about for a lore video, especially that I was hoping that people who've never played the game and wouldn't want to watch a full Let's Play of a game they've never played or something like that could actually jump in and be like, oh, well, I'll watch like a 10-minute lore video because I'm curious. And it's just, it's a lot of different names being tossed around, and even if you've played the games, this is just a lot of names, but I feel like I've got to talk about them, so. And also, honestly, Kingsfield Japan's lore, it's okay. I mean, the backstory stuff's pretty interesting, but the actual game itself's lore isn't that great. It's a little, like, archaic fantasy-style lore. But the Kingsfield 2 and Kingsfield 3, I think, have great lore. Kingsfield 2 being the first Kingsfield in America. I actually really like the story to those games. I think they're really interesting. So it's kind of like and those will be different lore videos because I don't want each of them to be too long, and I also just thought it'd be good to break them up by game. And just as it's the Verdite trilogy, as I call it. So, anyways, that's what I've been working on, and I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to accept that the first one's just not gonna be my favorite of them, but it'll allow and set the tone for the second and third one to be really good. So I hope people are okay with that and understanding that, you know, it's just, it'll get better. So this is kind of a confusing thing here, the fact that we find another Covetous Demon, especially when you look at the Covetous Demon and the fact that it has actually a very specific lore behind why that Covetous Demon exists that we found before in Mytha's area and in the Earthen Peak, which made it sound like he was probably in love with Mytha. That was very, very strongly what was hinted by the lore behind the Covetous Demon. Yep, you just kind of rolled into like a, you know, wall there. Good job. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no! I got greedy, and see, that's what always happens when you get greedy. Alright, you are done. It was fun, Covetous Demon, while it lasted, but you're done. But we get the Ivory Warrior Ring from this one, and honestly, I'm not seeing any lore from it that indicates, like, anything that would necessarily connect those two Covetous Demons in any way. So let's go ahead and look at that one. Ivory Warrior Ring. Ring of the Guardians of Eliam Lois. Attacks greatly decrease enemy stamina. Eliam Lois existed to subdue the raging flame, but when the ivory gates were flung open, the land grew cold and lifeless. Honestly, this is probably could be good in PvP. I haven't tested it out yet, so I wonder how much exactly it really does reduce your enemy's stamina. So it gives us some lore on Eliam Lois. So again, that whole thing about the ivory gates being flung open, and once that happened, the land grew cold and lifeless. But it doesn't really, I mean, it's an Ivory Warrior Ring, so I guess that implies that this Covetous Demon, this specific one, was an Ivory Warrior before he became a Covetous Demon. Let's go ahead and look at actually the Covetous Demon soul here. Eating is an expression of desire. There was once a man whose deep affections were unrequited. He transformed into the Covetous Demon, which only made him lonelier than before. So that seems pretty specific to that character, and since it's by Mytha, it sounds like he had unrequited affections and love for Mytha, and didn't work out. That's what because she was in love with the prince of a nearby castle and all that, so that's what it made it seem like, but mayhaps it's just simply, you'll turn into a Covetous Demon if you are a glutton and you eat a lot and you have unrequited love. Maybe those are the two conditions for Covetous Demon turning into. Let's ask Terramantis. Maybe he'll know. You know, no, get what I'm saying? If you don't get it, you should watch our 10 Things Inspired Dark Souls 2 Part 2 video that we made. Just making sure I didn't miss any items on the ground here. So yeah, actually, that White Phantom will literally run over here to where the Covetous Demon is, so that is why you want to take care of that White Phantom before you open the gates. Otherwise, he's going to try and use the Covetous Demon to his advantage. Forgot there were two Silver Hedgehogs. Silver the Hedgehog's here. Hey, it's no use! Even though it'd be me screaming that, as I can't kill it. It makes sense if you've ever played or seen a playthrough of Sonic 06. It makes sense, especially if you've seen the Game Grumps one, which which I highly recommend, even though I know some people it's just not their style, but it's more of just like I've never played Sonic 06. I remember being really intrigued by it. It was a game when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this looks like it could finally be the Sonic game that makes the Sonic Transition 3D really good, or 3D Transition good. Even though I had some reservations about it, and I actually really like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but outside of the Robotnik and Knuckles levels, but the Sonic and Shadow levels in both of those games are really good. The Tails / Robotnik levels and the Rouge / Knuckles levels are blech. I mean, Rouge / Knuckle levels are okay. Tails and Robotnik levels I really don't like. But Sonic and Shadow levels I actually really like in both of those games. Anyways, I mean, Shadow's not in Sonic Adventure 1, but still, you get what I'm saying. Right. So anyways, Sonic 06 I was hoping would be like, alright, finally, they're making a game, 3D Sonic game that would be a good one. And then I saw the reviews and I was like, nope, apparently they didn't. And I read that it was glitched and things like that, but I didn't know just how bad it was until I finally saw and watched the Game Grumps playthrough of it, and oh my, it's so hilariously bad that it makes me want to play it. I'm like, I want to play this game. This is something I want to do. So I actually think it's pretty hilarious. I think they probably make it look harder than it really is. Because if you play Dark Souls, you're probably a little bit better at games than them. And I'm not saying that to insult. I obviously, as I've talked about before, really enjoy JonTron and Aaron Game Grumps. Nothing against Danny, but I just really enjoy JonTron and Aaron, as I'm a big JonTron fan. But anyways, nothing against them. I think they're really funny, but I just, if you're a Dark Souls player, you're probably better at games. Probably. Oh, so I don't know how hard Sonic 06 really is, but some of those glitches definitely are for reals. And for keeps. Those glitches, they play for keeps. I like how I'm talking about, like, being good at video games if you're a Souls player, whereas I'm having trouble fighting a damn hedgehog. You go to hell, Silver. You go to hell and you die. You die. So you really don't need to kill all these at all. You can just run through. But I'm going for everything here. Frigid Outskirts, I'm kind of back and forth on. I know a couple of you guys were wanting to see me go back into the Frigid Outskirts to grab everything just for the sake of getting everything. But I'm a little back and forth about it. I might do it, might not. We'll see. But Lost Souls, I'm sorry. I'm just not planning on doing that. It's just... like, I would love to, I'd love to show it and all that, but I really just don't think I have time. Because, again, that is literally 2 full days of farming in order to get it. So, I really think they went overkill with those Lost Souls and how many you need. Like, 30 would have been fine, It didn't need to be 50. Alright, human effigy from those guys. That's what those golems drop. Oh, so... and we get a first lock stone here. So they're just all over the place. Anyways, something about that theory I presented last edition, involving the Lost Sinner, that I kind of forgot, not realizing, I thank you guys for pointing this out to me, is, if you look at the Lost Sinner's soul, it says, let's find that soul, it's going to be the Great Soul. Here it is. The Lost Sinner eternally sleep. Oh, never mind. It's not from her soul. The Lost Sinners. If we talk to the cat, I'm saying Ava by accident, but if we talk to our cat friend in Majula, basically what she tells us is that the Lost Sinner is atoning for her sins of trying to relight the first flame, and this flame right here is the Chaos Flame. So that theory that I presented, which was a really good theory, is kind of like possibly debunked by that. Now, it's still an interesting theory, and I still think it's worth thinking about, but that is a pretty decent discrepancy that's worth noting, that it is the first flame that she supposedly tried to relight, not the Chaos Flame. So I'd actually say that's an important thing. So I'm going to throw that back down as a just-in-case safety precaution. Now, something I didn't know until you guys, when I was streaming this out, people pointed out to me, is you can actually knock down this boulder right here. And there's 2 ways you can do it. I believe you can shoot an arrow at it, which is something I hadn't tried. Yep, so you can shoot an arrow at it. and that will come tumbling down and knock these guys down for you. So you actually lure them out and kill them, which is what I tried. And not only that, but this boulder is also going to create a shortcut as it gets bigger as it rolls from all the snow, because it was pretty small when it was up there, and it just kept on getting bigger and bigger. And now we have a shortcut back to the beginning of the level, so we literally can just run back and forth using this boulder. So I think that's pretty cool. Alright, let's grab these cracked red eye orbs. Actually, I think you can go back and forth. And we get a Zal staff over here. I know you can go back this way, obviously, but I'll test out the other direction on my way out. Alright, so let's look at Azal's staff. Azal, where's your staff? Rather roughly crafted, but imbued with the magic of Azal. Greatly intensifies spells, but also drastically reduces spell usages. Staff unfit for the inexperienced is evidence of Sage Azal's prowess. And Azal is a Sage of Ferocis, so that is a... I believe there's a couple of Azal things here. Just he's essentially... I think some of the sorceries we find are from Azal. So he's just a super powerful sorcerer. But then notice that he's from Ferocis, so it's another Ferocian connection here. Just yet another one. I mean, there are, as I've talked about, a lot of different lands that we can find their items here. But Ferocia, I believe, is a little bit more. And this is just one of those, especially as we're finding out a character. I mean, then again, there was the Lanifer character who's pretty big deal that we're finding a bunch of his equipment here, but I really don't think this is Lanifer. If anything, it's either part of Drangleic, Ferocia, or something entirely not either of them, or no land that we know of. It's specifically its own land, but I would say it's more likely to be either Ferocia, Drangleic, or yeah, none of the above. Hey, yeah, remember when that doesn't work very well? This is a really slow attack, and now I can hit both of you at once. Oh no. Well, now I'm just eating my words, aren't I? Bam! Oh, I thought I'd mistimed the dodge there. That's okay. Kind of. Not really, though. Not really okay, but I'll live with my poor timing. I can live with it, I suppose. Yeah, I didn't mean to sound, by the way, too downer about the Kingsfield Japan stuff. Like, I am excited to get the Kingsfield lore video out there. I just am, honestly, more excited about Kingsfield 2 and Kingsfield 3 once I get to those titles. And then Kingsfield the Ancient City. Especially, like, I mean, the big thing for me really is just the sake of I'm trying to figure out what to use for footage for the first part, where I just literally don't have any. Because all that backstory stuff I really feel like I should talk about, there's just no footage of it. Alright, we get some Vine Bombs here. Just make sure you kill all the enemies before you go for that. But the cool thing over here in this area is that we really can see just how giant of a city Eliam Lois became. And I think that's really great that they had that added detail. It's a lot of people, I believe, have mentioned that it kind of reminds them of Anor Londo, or I think I've heard people make that reference. Especially when we see like some of these outer walls here, similar to what Anor Londo has when you look at it. But we also have like what looks to be another church down here, or at least another important building, which we can't go to. But I just enjoy those details in the distance. And again, you can just see that, alright, so here's where the wall extends out to. And then literally, I mean, we have yet another minor wall, but literally in the back, it just extends all the way out with that wall. All the way out, and it's still surrounded by mountains until it finally hits that edge there where it's even taller mountains and mountain ranges. And then on the right side here, we're going to get the wall once again starting back up. So really entirely wrapped around with wall. With that wall. Because I'm all about that wall. About that wall. No trouble. I'm all about that wall. About that wall. No trouble. It's the Song of Eliam Lois. Alright, so we get our final Lois Knight here, which I'm just checking. I forgot there were items up here or not, which looks like there aren't. Alright, so final Lois Knight, and we're going to go ahead and unleash the final Lois Knight here. So you go help us out. Hey, Lois Knight, I summon you. Call you forth. Thank you. So go seek the chaos. I do want to mention, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because I was talking about this Kingsfield Japan video, and in relation to me recording this video right now, my plan is, before I even start editing this new Let's Play that you are currently watching, my plan is I want to finish writing my Kingsfield Japan video and actually start possibly even getting to the point where I'm editing it, so I'll definitely have made more progress. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess there's the point where I might even have that Kingsfield Japan video out by the time you're watching this. Maybe not. I just haven't decided yet how I want to go about my order. I don't know why I did that. So the best thing to do here is just use my Aged Feather, but I do really want to test out this boulder thing I was talking about. I'm really curious. Okay, are you going to let me go back? You are. Okay. That was it. Just wanted to test that out as I was questioning it. Yes, I do want to go to the last bonfire. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the last bonfire and then warp up to Alsana. So I will see you guys momentarily. Alright guys, I'm back here in the Grand Cathedral, and it is time to wrap up this Ivory King DLC. So, let's go fight the Ivory King himself with our band of Merry Lois Knights. And fight off a few Lois Knights while we're at it. Why not? Why not? You know what I should actually equip while I'm running down here is... Oh, actually, let's not equip the Motokumo. It's going to be pretty heavy. So, like, sometimes this runs out of steam, my sword. Alright, so what's cool is you see them get ready as you run down. And just, this is my favorite thing, though. It's just when you actually hop into it, the fact that you see them actually jump down with you. And, it's so cool dropping into here, into the old chaos. Especially with all the nice dropping down with you. So aesthetically, this area is just amazing. Boss fight 2 is good. I don't think, it's not one of my favorite boss fights, but it's a good boss fight, definitely. Oh, so one of the things, too, that I've noticed is a lot of times when people summon me in, I can't stun these guys anymore because they just get that little bit of a defense boost. So I actually really think it's much easier to fight these guys solo. So one thing you can do if you're farming for Lois Souls is that what I'd really is recommended to do, probably, if you don't want to... I mean, I'd say definitely do co-op, and I've heard Telltale, and there is actually one of our Lois Souls, but I've heard Telltale that it's a higher drop rate for Lois Souls if you're doing co-op and helping someone. I've heard that it's a higher drop rate. But one of the things that you probably want to do is actually drop down here, go for the Lois Souls, do all that jazz and taz, but as soon as the Ivory King comes out, and you want to also have all these knights to help you out, by the way, but as soon as the Ivory King comes out, oh, shoot. No. I actually can't believe it. I've fought this boss so many times. Alright, I'll quick see you guys in a moment. So actually, if I was farming for Lois Souls, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to die. Just be like, oh, great. So yeah, I'd say if you're farming for Lois Souls, either just die once the Ivory King shows up on purpose, or what you can do as well is just go to quit game and then go back in, and it will, as you can see, all of these guys are reset again. So you'll be able to fight them all. Now, they do spawn out after the Ivory King's dead. So after the Ivory King's dead, you can come down here and they will spawn, but you won't have the Ivory Knights to help you out anymore, A. And B, the other thing that I actually think is a little more important here is that, for me, I found that it actually sometimes stops spawning them. And I'd have times where I drop down... Well, A, they only drop 3 of them. Notice how it just keeps on spawning them right now for a long time. It will only spawn 3 of them after you've killed the Ivory King. And, not only that, but I've had a lot of times where I was fighting... Oh, so those Pyromaster is the one who usually get me. Oh, no. Anyways, as I was saying, I've had times where it would only spawn 1 and only spawn 2. And that's after farming them for a while. They just sort of stopped showing up. Like I guess like maybe they follow that rule where if you kill enough of them, it just stops respawning them, which is that general Dark Souls rule. That Dark Souls 2 rule, I should say specifically. It's not a general Dark Souls rule, it's specifically a general Dark Souls 2 rule, where it will despawn enemies after you've killed enough of them. So I think that might actually take into effect, and you actually have to co-op to kill them. So definitely, if you want to farm Lois Souls, and you don't have co-op as an option, you you really want to quit out or die against the Ivory King. Otherwise, you might have to go into multiple new games to get it. Which, by the way, also for Vendrick's Gift, as another note, I'm just bouncing around with what I'm thinking about and talking about, but so for the gift from the king, for King Vendrick's Gift, in order to get it, you have to beat, from my understanding, you actually have to beat all of the different DLCs before, or on the same new game level. So one can't be in New Game Plus and another one in general New Game. You have to beat them all in either New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus or whatever new game it is that you're doing. So this is really badass here. We've got the Ivory King's like throne essentially summoning out here. His new Chaos Throne. And then there he goes being summoned out of that flames of that portal in the back. So really badass. Then our burnt Ivory King. It was pretty good. So we've got 2 Lois Knights here. You can see there's another summon open. So what I want to focus on right now while he's doing that is I want to actually try to take care of this guy so we don't have extra people to worry about, but the Ivory King came for me. So now again, these seals happening right here, those ice seals only happen if you have a Lois Knight. They do not happen unless you have Lois Knights. So if you have one as a default, you want to find and unlock the other 3, specifically at least 2, so you have a total of 3 to unlock these for you. And Ivory King's going to get no buffs from it, because you're not doing co-op. He only gets buffs from the co-op specifically. Alright, I gotta stop playing like poop goop. Alright, here we go. Alright, looks like you are extending out your sword and becoming more powerful. Wow, I can't believe how much I hurt him for. I'm just so used to doing this on co-op, where it's like, I hurt him, but not well. It's kind of like bug biting on co-op New Game Plus. Alright, yeah, the other thing too is, as you can see, I've got my meat shield. Alright. Okay, that was not good. No bueno on that, and bad timing to decide to heal. I thought I'd have a moment to do it. Alright. What you want to watch out for is he has an attack where he's going to stab through you and pull you up, which I think was that attack, actually. Oh, maybe not, because he actually hit my Ivory Knight. Or my Ivory Knight, my Lois Knight, and it didn't do anything. But he has an attack that's going to stab through you, and that does a lot of damage. And it's only while his sword is like this. This sword does eventually, oh, I think, nope, I guess that wasn't it. Anyways, this sword does eventually lose its power. So, eventually it'll just go back to being a normal sword and be just fine. I actually think that soloing him is pretty easy. I don't find him to be that difficult of a boss. As you can see, I'm not having that much trouble with him. Well, now I am, now that I said that. But typically, he hasn't been a terribly hard solo boss for me. Alright, there we go. Especially since you're going to hurt him for so much more. Alright, so we got our Soul of the Ivory King. And we're also going to get our Ivory King crown right over here. And getting the crown will... And by the way, there's like a little pathway thing. I think those spikes weren't there before. So, crown of the Ivory King and his soul, and now we've got our way out. So, let's go ahead and take a look at those. Alright, so... Let's look at our Soul of the Ivory King. Alright, I got 5 Souls of the Giants. Good. And our Lois Soul, actually. So, Lois Soul. The Knights of Lois were taken by chaos and lost all sense of purpose and being. The few woeful souls that trudged back home were guided by some faint vestige of self. The soul is pure sorrow, and only Alsana can put it to rest. So, that's why that kind of indicates there that it's your indicator to give it to Alsana. But also, again, kind of indicating Alsana's not so bad. She's alright. Ivory King, by the way, interestingly, has a great soul. So that's worth noting. I only just realized that. So Ivory King has a great soul. Actually, pretty interesting. So that gives us, by the way, if you're counting at home, we now have 5 great souls. Check that out. 1 from the Giant Lord. Not Freya, though. Freya's was not. But we have 1 from the Giant Lord. The Ancient Dragon would have also been. So that actually would have given us 6 great souls. So there are 6 great souls total in the game. So you got the Ancient Dragon Soul, I believe, is a great soul. And that's what turned into this sword that I'm carrying, and that's why I don't have it with me. The Giant Lord is a great soul. The Old Iron King is a great soul. The Lost Sinner and the Rotten are all great souls. Anyways, Ivory King. The proud Ivory King was ever merciful and devoted himself to the protection of his great land until he was devoured by the flames of chaos. The wondrous soul of this great king can be used to acquire numerous souls or to create something of great worth. So he seems to be the exact opposite of the Iron King. So Iron King, total dickbag. Ivory King, really good guy. And Crown of the Ivory King. Far to the north, a king built a great cathedral to appease the raging flame. That is what we're in right now. But when he sensed the degradation of his soul, he left without a word, leaving everything to Alsana, who had unbeknownst found a place at his side. But these were events of long ago, and today no one even remembers the name of, or remembers the king's name. So there you have it. Let's go head back up to Alsana and go chat with her. And actually, she should have some more dialogue now that we have a Lois soul. She actually opens up when you present her with more Lois souls as it goes through each progression of Lois souls that you need. She will give you a little bit more dialogue and pieces of dialogue per Lois soul snap. And also, each time you do it, I believe it's 5, 10, 5, I think it's 5, 15, 30, 50 maybe? If I remember correctly. But each time you do it, so see these branches right here to the side? If you present her with 5 Lois souls, which is, again, a random drop from those burnt Lois knights who were down there, 5 Lois souls will destroy these branches right here. I think it's 15 that destroys this one right here. It might be 10. It's either 10 or 15 destroys those branches right there. 30 is this next step right here, and then 40 is that final branch step, or 50, sorry. 50 is that final branch step right there. Now, they decide to patch in and change the numbers, they do, but as of the current patch that I am playing, that I know of, it is 50, and that's what I had to do for my lore video. So let's talk to Alsana again. Also, now that we dealt with Ivory King.
You've granted my one wish.
You're welcome. Told you I could do that.
Now, I have no regrets.
It's a powerful statement.
I was born amidst the dark. Long ago, in the depths of the abyss, my father perished. The dark shattered into tiny pieces, one of which was me. How frightened I was. A frail thing, born from but a splinter of dark. I felt that I might simply disappear. I am, in fact, the incarnation of my father's fears. I saw that the king of this land was strong. I sought him only to sustain myself, to smother my fears. Now, I realize that he may have known all along. I was born of fear, and my Lord provided comfort.
What a swell guy.
And so, here I remain, heiress to my Lord's wishes, watching over chaos.
What a swell lady.
Until the end of time.
So she will literally watch over the chaos here to make sure, again, as the Ivory King did, for the Ivory King, that the chaos will not ever harm anyone or extend out and just, stay here. And so she's just sitting there praying, watching over. So actually, I'm going to see if I can see anything from down there. I don't know if you can, but something I never tested out. But literally, if you go up there to where she's standing, you'll see that this wall right here, she's up above. So she's literally up above where that spot is and always watching down here and praying. So it's literally right up there is where she's at. I don't think she's near the edge per se, but she's basically essentially watching over this at all times. Other thing, talking about her father, it's very deeply implied, and I think it is. It's Manus, Father of the Abyss from Dark Souls 1 that she's referring to. Again, the whole thing about that his Dark Soul breaking up and shattering into all these pieces, again, to me, it reaffirms my theory that I'd presented before Dark Souls 2 came out. Just giving myself some props there from all the things that it seemed to point to, that Manus was, in fact, the one who got the Dark Soul and he is the furtive pygmy, from my speculations. Alright, so.
The knights of Aleum voice were swallowed by the chaos.
Sorry to hear that.
Where their souls still remain.
Oh shit, I hope you don't want 50 souls, because that's a lot.
I pray for their deliverance.
You know, that's a movie, actually. Da-da-da-da-na-na-na-na-na. Is that Deliverance? Anyways.
The knights of Aleum.
So, again, like, if you connect the dots with those two things, that's her wanting their souls, the Loy Soul. So I didn't realize that at first because I hadn't found a Loy Soul drop my first time through. But if you find a Loy Soul, I think then you can sort of connect the dots. Without it, I think it's a little harder to. Alright, so what I'm going to do is head to Vendrick, talk to him again, and then kill current modern-day Vendrick. But first, let's go ahead and level up. See you in a moment. Hello, Emerald Herald. Fly here, hope is fully withered. Okay, cool. Alright, let's see. Oh, I got a lot of level ups I can do. Alright, let's go. 2 to strength, 1 more endurance, and a couple more vigor. Might as well. Sure. Sounds good. This is a much higher level than I've ever been for this point in doing the main game. I gotta say, because I never had 3 DLCs to go through before completing the main game, just a normal new game. Should make it all a little bit easier. I mean, I don't think levels make nearly as much of a difference in Dark Souls 2 as Dark Souls 1. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to Undead Crypt. After killing Vendrick, I think that'll wrap it up for this episode. I'll also go ahead and talk to Vendrick again, but then next week, I guess probably go ahead and get Vendrick's crown. Talk to Vendrick and get the blessing. I guess at that point it's probably time to do Nishandra if I have time, and then also look at all the lore stuff I haven't looked at from the items I can trade in. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna do. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into the Undead Crypt. I'll see you guys in a moment. There we go. Alright, we're back at the Undead Crypt. Let's run through really quick, and I mean it, really quick. Hey, look at that! It's King Vendrick the Brave, the Bold, looking beautiful there. I like the way you look. Let's go and do his memory. And again, I'll see you guys in a moment. Don't need that loading screen for you guys. Interesting to me, though, really. It really is interesting that those lights aren't here in the memory. What do you got to say to me now that I got another crown?
Seeker of fire, I see you've subdued another foul creature.
Yes, I did.
One of the father of the abyss spawn. That confounded quintessence of humanity.
Actually, it was a burnt
the
Ivory
abyss
King.
once had form, but then dissipated. And yet, traces of its existence endured. Each fragment, thirsting for power, spread dark with no relent. My dear Chandra was one such fragment. A feeble, tiny thing that thirsted for power more than any other. Driven by insatiable lust for a worthy vessel.
Sounds like you kind of miss her there. To me, it sounds like you're like, I just miss the Chandra.
Fire came to be, and with it, disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, light and dark.
I feel like I've heard this before. Dark Souls 1 prologue or
Dark,
something.
shadow is not cast, but born of fire. And the brighter the flame, the deeper the shadow.
I think that's actually the most interesting thing he says.
Inherit fire, and harness the dark. Such is the calling of a true leader. Dark was seen as a curse, shadow, and
So again, that's kind of what I talked about in some of my lore videos for Dark Souls 1, where I felt like... Basically, I felt like for Dark Souls 1 that you basically needed everything, especially for the sake of disparity is what came with fire. And that's exactly what he's talking about, is that disparity of fire casts a shadow. And that's a disparity. And to me, that was why I felt like, various ends of the disparities were working together because they needed each other. That's how fire and disparity works. You actually need the other disparity. And when one grows too powerful, it actually is going to ruin the disparity. And I think that's, to me, that was what I thought was the issue with, our potential issue with why the curse started, was that fire grew too powerful, possibly. Or one side grew too powerful, maybe it was the dark growing too powerful, but once a certain disparity grows too powerful, I think that's what causes problems. Alright, so let's go ahead and deal with Vendrick. We've got 5 King Souls, so actually we're doing a crap ton of damage against him. Last time I fought him, I think I had 3, and it was just bug biting him. So yeah, every giant soul that you get deals more damage to Vendrick. As oh wow, that could have been really, oh god, where am I? I want to look at that thing with it, but I'll talk about the giant souls afterwards, I guess. Remind me to do it in case I forget. I'm trusting you guys. Don't worry, Vendrick. You're slow and I'm fast. I'm sure you can do this. Although, you hurt me for a wallop, man. Every time you hit, that is a heavy blow. Heavy blow. Yeah, Vendrick's pretty easy, but when you're just bug biting him, it's pretty... You know, people make mistakes. At least I make mistakes. And when I'm just fighting him bug bite style, I've definitely got him really close to dying and ended up dying myself just because I had a moment of sloppiness. Like right there, I was actually late to dodging, and I actually got a little lucky that he didn't hit me. But, you know, you just got that momentary sloppiness, and he does hurt you for enough that it can be the end. So... it's definitely good to have all 5 giant souls if you want to deal with him, just for the sake of not needing to worry about that. And I'm just noticing the tiny amount of blood that comes from him when I chip him. I'm just thinking about how different Plugthorn is. Alright, so Vendrick is gone, so now we can actually go into his room. And, oh wow, we get a lot of souls from him. I forgot that. So, yeah, anyways, we get it, we can actually go to his room now. And Shrine of Amana. So, now that we've killed him, I don't believe I got his soul or anything. I think just killing him allows you to go get his stuff. Anyways, so Soul of the Giant is what I wanted to talk about. Will the Soul of the Giant who came to conquer Drangleic, will the Giant's resentment for the king be pacified in death or only emboldened? Can be used to acquire souls only... I think it's saying only don't, probably. But anyways... will the Giant's resentment for the king be pacified in death or only emboldened? The fact that, you know, they died and that's how we got their soul, that's what it's referring to. But the fact that when we kill Vendrick, or the way to do it, well, you basically can't kill him. You will break all your weapons if you try to kill him without the souls of the Giants. So the souls of the Giants give you that extra power specifically for killing Vendrick only, and specifically, and every single one you have multiplies how much you hurt him. So... 5 makes you deal far more damage than 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, etc. And then obviously you just basically can't do a 0. But that would indicate the Giant's resentment for the king is emboldened in death. They really fucking hate Vendrick. What can I say? Alright guys, I'm back to Majula. I'll see you guys in a moment. And we're here, back in Majula for even more level ups. Why not? And then that'll wrap this up. So next time I'll be ready to go right into the Shrine of Amana. So... let's see what I can do. 3 more level ups. Wow! Amazing! Let's go another one for strength. Actually, I am kind of curious if it... oh. Each one's giving me 2. Yeah, that seems good. Sure. 2 strength, 1 endurance. Fine by me. Alright, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Kita as we continue to wrap up the Dark Souls 2 Let's Play. This has been a long time. This is the 28th episode. This has been, I really, when I started this, I didn't think it would go this long at all. especially with the 3 DLCs added on. So thank you guys so much, and for those of you guys who've stuck with me all the way through, thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. So guys, I will see you guys next time for possibly the wrap up. I don't know, could be. I guess we'll find out. So once again guys, I'll see you next time. Later guys, peace.